iHeart Podcasts. Hear more Gold 101.7 podcasts,
playlists, and listen live on the free iHeart app.
Jonesy and Amanda.
Jam Nation.
The New South Wales Government has passed legislation outlawing the creation and the sharing of sexually explicit deepfakes without consent, following a huge rise in explicit deepfakes. To tell us more, we're joined by the Premier Chris Minns. Good morning, Premier.
Good morning, Amanda. Good morning, Jonesy. Thanks for having me on.
Can we say Minnsy? I feel like, it's not really premierial when you say
Premierial.
Premierial.
Absolutely. You can. Of course you can. Thanks, Jonesy.
This stuff is quite terrifying, isn't it? The implications of deepfakes, sexual deepfakes being shared about you. I know that the implications have been tragic for children.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And I think government sometimes are a bit slow to the table, particularly with rapidly changing technology. But this one is something we have to move on as quick as possible. The circumstances can be hugely traumatic, primarily for women. It is a form of abuse. And sexually explicit, pornographic, AI-generated images can be so realistic. But if they're directed at young people in particular, it can have huge, huge implications for their mental health, their anxiety, and their relationships with others.
And what sort of punishment are people going to get when they distribute these deepfakes?
Punishment of up to 3 years in jail and a fine of $11,000 or both. Obviously, the jail sentence is the big disincentive there, and look, we believe we need it. It is already illegal to illegally record someone in an intimate moment, but that doesn't cover the generation of AI, which in the circumstances where someone wasn't attending, had nothing to do with it, but could be seen to be part of it. We're also hugely worried about what they call sexploitation, where someone could be shaken down for money or even worse in circumstances where these images and these videos are generated. And look, it's appalling behaviour. It's despicable that someone would even contemplate doing it. But we know the implications once the images and the video are generated are hugely traumatic for people.
Yeah. It's interesting that and the punishments for the creators of the content, but those who also share it. So if that's on your phone and you send it to your mate, you are also liable.
That's right, and I understand that that may not be commonly understood, but the generation of these images needs to be shared by somebody. Often this is done, I don't know the motive for it, but people have to understand that, yes, these are serious penalties, but on a moral level, on an ethical level, you shouldn't be sharing these kind of images. It's grossly unfair to the people involved, and without their consent, it's appalling behaviour.
Yeah. Away from that, Anthony Albanese's off to meet with Donald Trump. If you were the Prime Minister of this country, which you could well be, Chris, what would you walk into the White House, what would the first thing you say to Donald Trump?
I'd probably say, well, I love the gold, love what you've done.
I can smell spray paint.
Looks fantastic. That's right. Not talk about. I don't know what I'd say. Actually, I'd probably be tongue-tied.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd give him my Donald Trump impression.
Okay.
This is a huge room. This is a huge room. It's good to see you both. You're both losers, but congratulations.
I think that's good. I think that'll get those.
No wonder they
tariffs.
keep you here, Premier.
Don't say that. I think he's doing a great job.
I like this guy.
Are we over the protests? Are there any more crazy protests on this weekend, or are we done with that?
Well, I think they're still continuing, and that's a balancing act for New South Wales Police. We recognise people have got a right to protest, but you've also got a right to enjoy the city and spend time with your family and friends in the city's CBD. I mean, sometimes police are left with this impossible task where they've got to balance both things at the same time. I think they've done a really good job. I know that others have criticised them, but can you think about how impossible that job would be to try and maintain a city of millions and millions of people with very different and divergent views while at the same time letting people enjoy this beautiful weather?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Look, we're getting there, but sometimes it's harder than It's harder than not.
You've got a lot on your plate, and that's keeping the old statue of Bruce Lee nicely shined. I went past it in Kogarah the other day. It's looking good.
Yeah, it's still perplexing, and most people don't understand why it's there, but it has become an institution.
Yep.
and it's not going anywhere. I mean, I think that's the big message out of today. I know that there's haters out there that want to rip it down, but we will go to the wall for that Bruce Lee statue.
Everyone likes to look at a statue.
Even though he never came to Australia.
No, never came here. I like that people look at it and think, that's perplexing.
That's perplexing. And you know what? There'll probably be a protest about it on both sides anyway, Chris. It's always great to talk to you. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you having me on.
Our Premier, Chris Minns there.